Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am going to be playing Arkham Horror, the card game. Specifically, I am playing the Path to Carcosa campaign. This one's new to me. I've never played it before. I am going to be playing Harvey Walters, who is a Seeker, and Roland Banks, which is a Guardian. I've got their decks already made and shuffled, but I'll deal with that in a minute. I don't want to have to read this whole entire prologue to you, so what I'm going to tell you is there's a play that has come to Arkham called The King in Yellow, and it's a one-night only kind of thing, and in the weeks prior to it coming and arriving from Paris, a lot of strange things are going on. There's suicides. The Arkham Sanatorium is where was it? The Arkham Sanatorium has got just a lot of people checking in with some really strange Arkham Asylum, excuse me. And there's been some murders, or possibly murders. Somebody's disappeared. There's just all kinds of craziness going on. So my investigators start thinking maybe there's something weird with this King in Yellow, because one of the madmen who was just captured and taken to the asylum was talking about how the king is back. The king is back. So they are at the play on opening night. They managed to get tickets. They are there. And the first act was extremely dull and boring. There's really not much to say about it. As the curtains close, Roland and Harvey are preparing to get up and to go get something to eat during the intermission. However, they get very sleepy and they fall asleep in their seats. And that's where scenario one begins. I'm going to read out just the short introduction here. You awaken with a start as though shaken by an unseen force. You must have slept for quite some time, for there are only a few other patrons in the audience and no performers on stage. The lights are dimmed and the stage curtains are tattered and ripped, though you do not remember that being the case during the first act. You wait a moment before you are sure this isn't part of the performance. As you wait, a foul but unrecognizable smell permeates the air. How long have you been asleep? Shaking off your drowsiness, you walk towards one of the seated patrons and ask for the time, but he does not respond. It is then that you realize you are speaking to a corpse. All right, now what I need to do is read you the agenda. This is what will forward as doom tokens are placed on it. You do not want this advancing. This first agenda will take 6 doom tokens in order to advance. Agenda 1A, the third act. The theater is eerily silent. The old wooden floor creaks beneath your feet, and a light rain gently patters on the roof as you explore the auditorium. There are more rotting corpses among the seats, and the rest of the crowd has vanished. Now the act, which is what I do want to advance, it needs 3 clues per investigator, so 6 in all to advance this. Act 1A is called Awakening. You pinch yourself to see if you are dreaming, and sure enough, your skin stings and reddens. You take a few deep breaths and try to think rationally. Whatever is going on, you must explore the theater to learn the truth of the matter. All right, I have shuffled up the event deck here, the encounter deck. I've shuffled up Harvey and Roland's decks. I'll go ahead and do it again. And I need to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get to do a mulligan up to 5, and I also can put back weaknesses. Stand together, not bad. Clean them out, not bad. Breach the door, Greta, and 1-2 punch. These are all pretty good. I don't want to risk drawing something that I don't want, so I'm going to keep that. And then Harvey Walters' deck. Now, Harvey has a permanent card in play. His deck came with this permanent card called Forced Learning. It is added at the creation of the deck, and it increases my hand size to 15. Oh, no, in my deck size, excuse me. I can have up to 15 more cards in this deck if I want to. Now, right now, I haven't done that. I just want to get playing, but knowing that I can increase it up to 15 is cool. And what that means is as I get XP, I can buy other cards and not have to pull cards out of the deck. Because normally when you get XP and you buy new cards, something coming in, something's got to go. So I decided to just use his standard deck size and see what happens with the XP when it starts coming up. All right, let me draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got Deduction. That's a good one. Arcane Enlightenment. That's a good one. Tooth. Oh, he drew his weakness. So I get to draw another card and shuffle this in. You do not have to start with a weakness in play. Now, both Roland and Harvey have a deck-required weakness, and then I was forced to draw a random basic weakness. I did that before as I was making their decks. Roland got, let me think, what did Roland get? Roland got Amnesia. That was funny enough. I'm trying to remember. He got Amnesia, and Harvey got one that reduces his hand size. I don't remember the name of it, but so there we go. All right, so Harvey's got a good hand starting, and so does Roland. They start in the theater, so let me flip this over and see what's here. No clues. It's got a 2 shroud, and it says, to say that the theater is in disarray would be a profound understatement. The walls and seats, previously polished to a shine, are cracked and caked with dirt. The curtains are tattered, and the set is stained with old blood. You aren't sure what's worse, the smell of rot or the nagging feeling that you've been asleep for a very long time. All right, they each get 3 actions. I can go backstage or to the lobby. Once I'm in the lobby, I could go up to the balcony. Let's go. I don't want to split them up. I hate splitting the party, especially with Harvey, who's got a fight of 1. He's not good at fighting. So let's keep them together. I like to let Roland go explore and then pull Harvey behind him. So Roland will go to the lobby as his first action. We will flip this over. He is at the lobby. It has 1 clue on it and a shroud of 4. Forced. When lobby is revealed, put 2 of the set-aside lobby doorway locations into play at random. All right, so there were some set-aside cards I was told to do. Lobby doorways. Here we go. So it says to draw 3 of them. So let me just shuffle these up real quick. It says put 2 of them into play. 1 and 2. All right, so he's here. This one will go away. And now I have 2 doorways that I can get to. All right. He has an investigative 3, which is not going to beat this shroud of 4. He does have some cards that could help him. Test 1. If you succeed a test breach with 1 resource on it for each point, you succeed as leads. Reduce attached shroud by 1 for each lead on the breach door. You know what? I'm going to hold on to that. That's a great one. I'm going to go ahead for his second action and get an ally out for 5. That's all his resources. But now he's got Greta out. Greta Wagner. And let's see. For his third and final action, I will go to one of these. Let's just do this one. He'll move to this one. There are 2 clues here. It reveals the green room. As an action, investigate. You get +3 investigate for this investigation. After this skill test ends, discard each card in your hand. Ooh, and it's got a shroud of 5. Ooh, I don't want to have to get rid of those. Discard. After this ends, discard every card in your hand. Oh, man. Okay. So that means I better play the ones I want to play because I'm going to have to end up losing them anyway. All right. So that was his third and final action. I flip his card over. Harvey is going to move to the lobby. There is a card here he can, or a clue. His investigate is 5 versus 4, but I have deduction. If this skill test is successful, discover an additional clue at that location. It does not have to be, there doesn't have to be a second clue here. You just get it. So discover an additional clue. So I will play deduction, and that turns it from 6 to 4, and I really want that. So I'm going to play Preposterous Sketches. It says play only if there's a clue at your location. Draw 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3. All right, that's good. And now I'm at, oh, it costs 2. Just play this. All right. So I played that. That was his second action. He moved, played a card. Now he's going to investigate. And he gets, it's 6 versus 4. Does he want to contribute any more cards? No. Nope. 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 Okay, so it's going to be 6 versus 4. And let's shake this up. Now, while I'm shaking this, let me go ahead and tell you, I play Arkham Horror campaigns like this one using what's called the easy setting. There's easy, standard, and then the flip side is hard, expert. And basically, it's just what the drawn tokens do. On the easy one, the reason I play easy is I like to experience the story. I'm not looking to get killed in the first part of the campaign. I want to feel the story. I want to feel the danger. If that bothers you, you're probably not going to want to watch this, but you can still die. You can still fail in easy. It's just not as easy as the expert level. All right, 6 versus 4, and I drew a skull. The skull is -1, -3 if you have 3 or more horror. So I did do it, and he gets the clue. And because I played deduction and I succeeded, I get another clue. So they're at 2 clues now. And that is Harvey's turn. That was his third and final turn. So after the investigative phase is now the enemy phase. There are no enemies, so we go straight to upkeep. You flip these over. They each draw a card. He gets Unexpected Courage. He gets Feed the Mind, and they each get a resource. And that is the end of the upkeep phase. Now, we place the Mythos phase. You place a Doom token, 1 out of 6, and each investigator has to draw an event card. So, who went first? It was Roland, so Roland draws first, and he gets a swarm of rats that are going to engage him at his area. All right, not a problem. I can kill those pretty easy. And Harvey draws Spires of Carcosa. It's an omen. Revelation. Attach to your location. Then place 2 Doom there. So already up to 3 Doom. If there is no Doom on attached location, discard this. Otherwise, as an action, you can investigate. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, you remove a token. So basically, I got to do 2 investigates to get those off. All right. But that's not bad. I can deal with that. It is now my turn. All right. So Roland will take care of these rats. He's got to deal with them. So I have... They are just a 1 health, 1 fight. So if I hit them, they're going to die. But I'm looking to see if I have any card that can help me gain resources. So, fight. Here we go. I'll play this as a 0. When this action begins, gain 2 resources. So I gain 2 because I'm doing a fight. And the fight is going to be 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1. What did I do with the bag there? I drew the skull again, which is -1. So I did defeat the swarm of rats. That's good. All right. And he's got 2 actions left. So remember, if I investigate here, I'm going to have to get rid of my cards. So I don't want Harvey going there because Harvey's cards are... I don't want to lose them. They're good cards. So for his second action, you get +3 investigate. His investigator... So it's 6 versus 5. I will play... I hate to lose Breach the Door. It's such a good one. Test 1 sanity. If you succeed, each race is shot by 1. I could lower the shroud of that. Let's play. I'm going to play for his second action. I'm going to pay 2 to put out Breach the Door. I have to succeed at 1 fight, and his fight is 4. So 4 versus 1, and I got +1. So I did succeed. I got a 5 versus 1, so I can put 4 resources on this. So it has 4. And it says, reduce the attached location shroud by 1 for each lead. So there's 4 leads. So now that becomes a 1 shroud. Much, much better. So for his third and final action, he will... Man, I hate this. I'm going to lose 2 really good cards. But he's going to have to do it. So I might as well use this to bump it up to 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 versus 1. The only thing that can hurt me is the auto fail. -1. So I did. I got a clue. Only 1. And it says, After this skill ends, discard each card in your hand. So I have to get rid of these, and that is the end of his turn. And this is an event test. If you see, reduce attached location drive. So this is still attached here, making the Shroud 1. So on the next turn, I'll have him investigate again, hopefully, and get that last clue. Meanwhile, let's do Harvey. Harvey has 4 resources. He's got Feed the Mind, Exhaust It, Spin, Test 1. Okay. Vault of Knowledge. Your maximum hand size increases by 2. That's a good one. When this action begins, gain 2 resources. And by the way, I get to draw another card, and let me tell you why. His special ability is a fast ability. It says, after an investigator at your location draws 1 or more cards, that investigator draws another card. So earlier he drew 3 cards, so he gets to draw another one. So I drew higher education. All right. Harvey gets stronger the bigger his hand gets. It can go up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 8 cards in his hand. All right. So for his first action, I should probably get some of these assets out. He needs a 3. Vault of Knowledge. Your maximum hand size increased by 2. After you successfully investigate, exhaust Vault and choose an investigator. All right, so I'm going to play Vault of Knowledge for his first. It costs 3 for his first action. Now, he needs to investigate here. His investigate is 5 versus 4. I'm going to add. I don't want to do that. These are all really good cards. Well, it says when you begin this investigate, gain 2 resources. I'll play this for his second action. It costs 0 cost. I'm doing an investigate. He is 5 versus 4, and I'm going to contribute this one to make it 6 versus 4. And it says when this action begins, gain 2 resources. So he gets 2 resources. And I'm doing 6 versus 4. My 6 minus 1 is 5, so I get 1 Doom token goes away. And for his third and final action, so the Vault of Knowledge says, after you successfully investigate, exhaust it and draw a card. So he gets to draw a card. Encyclopedia. Okay. He played it. He investigated. He's got 1 more investigate. So he is at, now he's at 5 versus 4. Feed the Mind. For each point you succeed, draw a card. Man, that is such a good card. That's a good card, too. Oh, man, which one? Feed the Mind or Tooth? Tooth gives me +1 will and +1 agility. This one just gives me test 1. I'm going to get rid of Feed the Mind to make that 5, 6, 5. I just donated no stone unturned to make it 6, 7. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. All right. I did it. That was a 0. So that goes away, and he is done. His turn is done. All right, I'm halfway to the 6 clues I need. It is the end of the turn. It is now the enemy phase. There are no enemies in play, so we go to upkeep. This flips over. This flips over. They each draw a card. He's got his guns. Nice. And Harvey's gets Witten Green, a good ally. All right. What did I do with his deck? This was his deck. Sorry. Roland's is there. Roland has no cards. Roland has 1 card. So I need to get that in play, and it costs 3, and he's only got 1. So did I draw them a resource? I can't remember. I drew the card. Did I get him a resource? I don't think I did. Nope. 1 and 1. All right, there we go. Okay. End of the upkeep phase. We place a Doom token. There are now 2 out of 6. Roland went first, so he draws. He's got Rotting Remains. Test 3 sanity. For each point you fail, take a horror. His will, or it's not sanity, test 3 will. He's got a 3 will. He can't do anything other than just take it. So 3 versus 3. And I got 3 minus 1 is 2. So he failed it by 1, so he takes a horror. And then Harvey goes and gets the poltergeist attached to him. Cannot be damaged except by spells, relics, or encounter cards. As an action, you can parlay. Test 3, investigate to banish it. If you succeed, deal it 1 damage to attempt to banish it. If you succeed, deal it 1 damage. So it takes 2 parlays to kill it. All right, so this was supposed to ready, by the way. All right, so not too bad. All right, it is now my turn. Well, Roland for his first action will take a resource because he needs 3 to get his guns in. Then for his second, he will get rid of the gun, and it gets how many bullets? 4. 4 bullets on it. He has no cards in his hand. And so his third and final action will be to investigate the green room. It's a 1 shroud. He is a 3 investigate versus 1. 3 versus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so he does get it. And now we're at 4 clues. This can go away because I don't need to research that room anymore. And I don't have any cards to discard, so this is done. So for his first action, he took a resource. Second action, he bought a gun. Third action, he investigated, so he is done. Time for Harvey. All right, so if there's no doom, discard it. So this can go away as well. All right, Harvey will go to, for his first action, he's got 4 resources. He could get Witten Green, an ally, out. When you control a tome or relic, which he does not have. Oh, no, he's got to deal with a poltergeist. Excuse me. Got to deal with it. So he cannot be damaged except by spell, relic. I do have a relic, but it's not in play. I'd have to play it, which means it would get an opportunity attack. So instead, I'm going to parlay. It's test 3 knowledge. He's at 5, and I will burn. I'm going to burn higher education to make that 6 versus 3. Minus 1 is 5. That puts a damage on it. That's his first action. For his second action, he'll parlay again, and I don't really have anything I can contribute to it, and I don't want to get rid of the encyclopedia. So he's just doing 5 versus 3. Five minus 2 is 3, so I managed to kill the poltergeist for his second action. And for his third and final action, Witten Green would be great to have. When you control a tome or relic, you get +1 thing. After you reveal a location or put a new location play, exhaust or search. Okay. I'm going to pay 4 to get her out. He can only have 1 ally, so there's his single ally. And he didn't successfully investigate during each upkeep phase. Instead of drawing a card, draw 2. Oh, you know what? I forgot about forced learning. During the upkeep, I can draw 2 cards and keep 1 and discard the other, which is awesome. All right, so that is his third and final turn. He is done. And it is now enemy phase. There are no enemies. Upkeep phase. Let's flip these over. And they each draw a resource. And they each draw a card. And he draws 1. He got Monster Slayer. Now, Harvey can draw 2, and I can discard 1. Unexpected Courage and Research Librarian. Well, the problem is Research Librarian is great, but it's an ally, and I've already got a pretty decent ally out. It does say that as a fast action, after a Research Librarian enters play, search your deck for a tome and add it to your hand, shuffle the deck. So anyway, I'm gonna discard that one and keep Unexpected Courage because it's a 2 wild thing. All right, it is now Mythos phase. Put this here, 3 out of 6. And Roland went first, so he draws a card. He gets Whispers in Your Head. Peril hidden, so only he can deal with this. Revelation. Secretly add it to your hand. You cannot commit skill cards to skill tests while this is in your hand. It takes 2 actions to discard this. Darn it. All right. So that was his, and Harvey's is Black Star's Rise. Omen. Revelation. Test 4, investigate. If you fail, you must either place 1 doom on the current agenda or take 1 horror for each point you fail by. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. He's a 5 resource versus 4. I will contribute Unexpected Courage to make that 7 versus 4. Seven. So I didn't fail it. That goes away, and that's excellent. All right, my turn. 2 actions. I will get rid of this. I hate that. And he's got 1 action left, which is going to be to move back to the lobby. He cannot move anywhere else. And he is done. Harvey's turn. Harvey. I'm getting really close to that 6. I'm going to play, for his first action, I'm going to play Emergency Cash for 0. He gets 3 resources. Now he's at 4. Then I'm going to play Encyclopedia for 2 for his second action. He's got 1 hand filled now. This is a tome. And I'm going to, for his third action, I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to pay 2 to get Arcane Enlightenment out, and that is it. He is done. All right, end of the turn. No enemies. Flip these over. They each get a resource. And they draw a card. Roland draws Glory. Harvey draws 1 and 2. Now, the good news is I get to discard one of these. I'm going to discard the weakness. That is gone. So he gets Flashlight. I will take that. All right, now we put a Doom token on, and we draw a card. Roland went first, so he draws Descent into Madness. Surge. But when it was revealed, if you have at least 3 horror, lose an action. He's only got 1, so I have to surge. I have to draw again. Twisted to His Will. Revelation. If there is no Doom in play, Twisted to His Will gains Surge. Otherwise, test Sanity X, where X is the amount of Doom in play. If you fail, discard 2 cards from your hand. Okay. 4 Doom in play. So he's got to test 4 Sanity. He's at 3. He could make it 4 by contributing this. He's at 4. And I'm going to make it 5 by having Harvey just do that. So it's 5 versus 4 because I really don't want to discard 2 cards from my hand. 5 versus 4. 5 minus 2 is 3. I lose. Where X is the amount of... If you fail, discard 2 cards. So his last card goes away. And that is done. Now Harvey draws. Rotting Remains. Test 3 will. For each point, take a horror. He's 4 will. He has nothing to help him with that. So 4 versus 3. And I did it. Okay, so he's fine. All right. Oh, by the way, after an investigator at your location draws 1 or more cards from their deck during the investigation. Okay, so I haven't done that. All right. That is it. It is now their turn. Roland will move to the... Do I send him to the balcony or the lobby door?
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
Let's go to the balcony. Send him to the balcony. Balcony is 2 Shroud, 2 clues. Forced. After you perform a move action during which you move from the balcony to the theater, take 1 damage. Well, it says here the balcony you can get down. Oh, you can go directly down if you want to. That's pretty cool. Very thematic there. It's like you're jumping down. So if I go from here to here, I have to take 2 damage. Okay. And it says 2 clues on it. Well, I won't be jumping down, that's for sure. So he moved. I guess he'll investigate. It's a Shroud of 2. He's got a 3 investigate and no cards. So 3 versus 2. Oh, I drew 2. I drew a 1 and a 0. Ah, that would have been great. 3 versus 2. I drew a 0. So he gets a clue. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I had more than that. 1, 2, 3. That's right. All right. And then for his third and final action, he'll do it again. 3 versus 2. 3 minus 1 is 2, so he did it. He got this one. So we got 5 clues now, and he is done. Let's send Harvey. Backstage is going to take 2 moves. So let's do 1 move to the lobby doorway and flip it over. No clues. Great. It's got a 2 shroud. As an action, you can gain 5 resources. Remember that you stole from the box office. Group limit once per game. So he could steal 5 resources right now, but I don't like to do that. So instead, for his second action, he will move here. And for his third action, he will move here, and he is done. That is the end of the investigation phase. There's no enemies, so we go to upkeep. Flip these over. They each get a resource, and they each get a card. He got True Grit, and Harvey gets Extensive Research. All right, now we place a Doom token. Now there are 5 on here out of 6. Roland went first, so he draws. He gets Dissonant Voices. Put it into play. You cannot play assets or events. At the end of the round, discard it. All right, so he's got that nasty thing. You cannot play assets or events, so I can't play this. Great. And Harvey draws a Fanatic. It's a bad guy. Spawn, revealed location with the most clues. Well, none of them have any clues on it. So it says forced. After he enters play, move 1 clue from his location, from Fanatic's location to Fanatic. Forced. When you defeat him, take control of his clues. There are no clues, so I think I can just put him wherever I want. The other option is, because I cannot spawn him at a location with the most clues, this should go away. But I don't know that rule for 100%, so I'm going to play it as he's in here. I'm going to put him in the box office. He's not a hunter, so he won't go moving, so he'll stay there. All right, that is it. It is now my turn. There is 1 more Doom token to flip this over. I need 1 clue token to flip that over. So Harvey is going to go first. Harvey will move to the backstage, flip it. There is 1 clue here, and a Shroud of 3. Forced. When backstage is revealed, put 2 of the set-aside backstage doorway locations at play in random. Okay, so in the set-aside deck, there are backstage doorways. 1, 2. There's only 2 of them. I thought there were 3. Apparently there's just 2. Put 2 of the... Okay, so it doesn't say at random, so there must be only 2. All right, so there's 2 new ones here. But there's a clue. So what did I just do? I moved here to reveal it. That was his turn. That was his first action. Because he went 1, 2. Hold on. He was here. He flipped it. Then he went 1, 2. All right, so first action, he moves here. Second action, he will investigate. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play Flashlight. This will be his second hand. So you can only have 2 things. You've got 2 hands. You can have 2 cards with 2 hands. So he's got 3 uses. And for his third and final action, he'll investigate and use the Flashlight to reduce that to 0. So he's doing a 5 versus 0. And this says, after you successfully investigate, exhaust it, and draw a card. After you reveal a location or put a new location play, exhaust her, search the top 6 cards for a tome or relic, and draw it, then shuffle your deck. All right, so I'm going to play this because he just entered a new location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can take a tome or asset. Nope, 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 nope. Yes, I'll take the tome. This gets shuffled. All right, the tome goes in my hand. I can only carry 2 tomes, I believe. It says you have 1 additional hand slot. which can only be used to hold a tome. So I can get another tome in play. All right. So he's going to investigate 5 versus, what did I say, 1? Or 5 versus 0. 5 versus 0 to get that last clue. And I got the Elder Sign. So the Elder Sign says draw a card, and it's +1. So I get a Kaleno Fragments. All right, and I get the last clue. I've got 7. How did I do that? Oh yeah, he had that extra clue. I could have done this last time. So let's do it anyway. So the 6 clues go away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll leave that bonus one on Hit Harvey that he got when he did an investigate over here. I flip this over and I read it. A shadow creeps along the wall beside you, and your heart leaps into your throat. You turn, and a figure flits away just out of sight. Either your mind is playing tricks on you, or someone else is in the theater. You follow the direction of the shadow, rounding a nearby corner. At the far end of the hall, he stands awaiting you, a man in an elegant black suit, his face covered by a pale mask. Though his attire has changed, you instantly recognize him as the actor who played the role of the Stranger, one of the characters from The King in Yellow. He turns and disappears through an open doorway, as if taunting you to follow. Choose one of the set-aside locations at random. Put that location into play and spawn the set-aside the man in the pallid mask at that location. Advance to one of the 3 copies of Act 2A at random. Remove the other 2 from the game without looking. Okay, so there are 3 of the Act 2As. So I'm supposed to shuffle these and pick one. I'll put them behind my back. And let's see. I'll pick that one. All right, these 2 go away. And let me read what this says. The Stranger. The mysterious stranger from The King in Yellow might know something about what happened during the intermission. You must find and confront him if you are to discover the truth. Objective. When the man in pallid mask would be discarded from play, advance this. All right. So I'm supposed to take the man in the pallid mask, and I'm supposed to, is it random? Choose one of the set-aside locations at random. Okay, so I've got dressing room and lobby doorway. So those are the only 2 locations that are left over. That's interesting. Choose one of the set-aside locations. Put that location. Okay, that's all I can do. So I'll take these, put them behind my back, and I'm just going to pick that one. What is it? Dressing room. Okay, the lobby doorway goes away. So the dressing room is connected to green. Which one's green? Backstage. So it's right here, and it connects to the backstage. He happens to be at the backstage. And the man in the pallid mask spawns. It says spawn at the farthest location, but that says to spawn him here. So we will spawn him in the dressing room. As an action, investigate. Your location gets +2 shroud for this investigation. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, defeat him. All right, so he goes there. And that was when I advanced that. And he is done. That was his 3rd action, which got me the clue, which allows me to advance. So I've still got him. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's done. And now there's an enemy in play. Now the enemy stays there, thankfully. There are no more enemies in play, so the fanatic doesn't move. He stays there. So that's the end of the investigator phase, or enemy phase. Upkeep, these flip over. I get a resource, 1 and 1. I draw a card. He gets Helping Hand. Harvey gets Deduction. All right. Unfortunately for me, it is now the Mythos phase. I put the 6th Doom token on, which now advances the agenda, which I'm not happy about. I was hoping to not have to do this. Flip it over. Abruptly, the malformed body of an unnatural nightmare slams onto the stage, its slithering tendrils reaching into the aisles. It opens its maw and lets out a shrill, piercing song. The melody is uncanny. The notes scar into your mind. Pain pounds in your forehead and blood runs from your ears. Search all set-aside cards and the victory display for the Royal Emissary. There was a Royal Emissary. And spawn it at the theater. That theater is right here. All right. Let me read the next agenda, which also has 6 doom. Encore. The creature's song echoes relentlessly through the halls of the theater. The melody repeats again and again, yet somehow never the same note twice. Forced. After Royal Emissary is added to the victory display, remove all doom from play and reset the agenda deck to agenda 1A. Then place 3 doom on it. Oh, nice. So if I kill him, I get to go back to agenda 1A and put 3 doom on it. Oh, that's cool. I love this game. I just love how this game works. Now, the Royal Emissary has 4 fight and 4 health, so he's going to be hard to kill. His prey is the lowest will, 4, 3. So he is going to target Roland, which is fine with me, because Roland has a gun. Oh, I forgot to put dissonant voices out of play a while back. He has a gun, and Harvey needs to investigate to get that guy taken care of. All right, so it is now doom time. Roland went last, so Harvey went first. So Harvey draws dissonant voices. He cannot play assets or events. And Roland draws fanatic. Spawn revealed at the location with the most clues. Again, no clues. So I'm going to put him over here in the game green room. All right. Spawn at the revealed location with the most clues. All right. Don't have to worry about him. All right. It is now my turn. I can put Roland and send him here. I want these 2 victory points because those allow you to upgrade your deck. Roland's first act is to move here. That's 1 action. For his second action, you may commit Helping Hands to any type of test. Max 1. While Helping Hands is committed to a skill, double the skill icons of the other cards submitted. Well, his only other card is a Sanity, so that's not going to help. So what I'm going to do is, for his second action, he's going to shoot it. So he takes a bullet. The bullet is +1 fight for the attack. If there are 1 or more clues, you get +3 fight instead. The attack also deals +1 damage. So if I hit him twice, that's enough to do 4 damage. So his fight is 4. The bullet gives him +1, so he's 5 versus 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. A tie counts. So it does 1 damage, and the bullet says it does an extra damage. So there's 2 on there. Yep, and then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to shoot him again. So I get 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 versus 4. Shoot him again. Shoot him again. 5 versus 4. That is -1. -3 if you have 3 or more horror. He only has 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So I kill the Royal Emissary, which I don't even know what that is. It's some nasty-looking monster. It says a messenger from Aldebaran. Okay, well, at the end of the enemy phase, each investigator at Royal Emissary's location takes a horror. So I killed him before that happened. So I get 2 there. And I investigated the balcony. So that's going to give me a victory of 1. Is there anything else I get victory on? Oh, I did the green room, victory 1. So I get that one. And it looks like that is it. So he moved and he shot twice, so he is done. All right, let's take care of that guy. All right, so Harvey will move for his first action. For 3 actions, you can heal 3 horror. So if you had a lot of horror, that you could do that. Now, the man in the pallid mask. He's got 2 actions left. As an investigate, your location gets +2 shrouds. So now it's up to 6. If you succeed, defeat him. All right, so I need to get 6. So it's at 6, but I've got flashlight, which I will play 1, which lowers it by 2. That lowers it back down to 4. His investigate is, oh, he can't play assets or events until the end of the round. Oh, he can't do it. He can't play it. These are assets. Yep. So he cannot play a flashlight. You cannot play flash. All right, so he can't do that. All right. So, darn it. Well, he's 5 versus 6. Let's do it. By the way, the man in the mask engages him, so he's engaged. So 5 versus 6. I need the +1 or the elder sign. And I got the -1, so he fails it on his second action. He's got one more chance. The third action, he'll do it again. 5 versus 6. I need a +1 or the elder sign. And I got a 0, so he failed it. He is done. All right, so now... Oh, by the way, this goes away. This comes back because I defeated that emissary, and I put 3 doom on it. 1, 2, 3. So it's like you get a second chance. All right. Done. Enemies. The enemy phase, the Pallid Man attacks Harvey for 1 sanity. Okay, is that it? All right, that's fine. Then we play. Then it's the upkeep. These flip over. Draw a resource. Draw a card. Dynamite. I wish you could kill the guy. Alchemical distillation. All right. It is now the upkeep phase. It's the end of the round. This goes away. Dissonant voices. Put a doom token. And they have to draw a card. So who went first? It was Harvey. No, it was Roland. He moved to kill the thing. Spires of Carcosa. Attached to your location, place 2 doom. Ooh. If you succeed, okay, if there's no doom attached. So here's the problem. This 2, attach your, then place 2 doom. That knocks this up to 6. Which immediately triggers this to go away. And then we get this back. After we remove all doom for play and reset, then place 2 doom. So this goes away, which means we're now to this one. All right, so the doom goes away. It reset it. So now I've got 6 turns to beat this guy. Okay. Now Harvey's got to draw his card because I just drew. What did I just draw? Can't even remember. I drew Dissonant Voices went away. I drew Spires of Carcosa for Roland. Now I draw for Harvey. Harvey gets Rotting Remains. Test 3 sanity. For each point you fail, take a horror. 3 sanity. His is 4. I can make it 5. I can make it 5. 5 versus 4. 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1 is 6, so that goes away. All right. Harvey, you can do this. Now you can contribute cards. He will contribute a flashlight to knock this down to 2. The Man in the Mask adds +2, so it's back to 4. Harvey is 5 research. I'm going to make it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, I only need to make it 7. 5, 6, 7. I'll save that for a next one. 7 versus 4. And I got the Elder Sign. The Elder Sign lets me draw a card. But the good news is, if you succeed, instead of discovering, defeat him. So he is defeated. It doesn't look like you'd get any victory for him. And this says, the Stranger. When the man in the Pallid Mask would be discarded from play, advance. Let me flip this over. As you face off with the Stranger, you get the sense that he is grinning beneath his pale, faceless mask. Where is everyone, you ask, but he does not respond. What is going on? He remains silent and steps back as you approach, until his back is against the corner of the room. You feel intense heat behind you, and you turn to see flames roaring throughout the auditorium. You turn back to the Stranger, but he is gone. Instead of discarding the Man in the Pallid Mask, move him to the lobby. He's right here. All right. Place 1 horror on the theater. Right here. Okay. Until the end of the scenario, horror on locations represents spreading flames. Place 1 horror. Oh, sorry, not a doom, a horror. Horror on locations represents flames, and each location with a horror gains forced. After you enter this location or end your turn, test 3 agility. If you fail, take a damage. Limit once per round. Keep this card next to the Act deck as a reminder and advance to Act 3A. All right, so 3A says, Curtain Call. The Stranger must know the way out. You have to follow him. While the man in the pallid mask is not in play, the lobby gains resign. You can quit the game. Forced. At the end of each round, place one horror on each location with no horror that is connected to a location with horror, so the fire spreads. Objective. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, you can advance. So I've got to get to the lobby and resign. Well, the good news is Roland's almost there, but he's going to have to fight this dude. So, and this says when you end, after you enter or end your turn. So he's already here, so he can leave it with no problem. All right, so did I draw all the... I drew that. I advanced the thing. I flipped them over. He just beat the pallid mask. So he's got one more action. No, he played the flashlight, and he beat it. Yeah, so he's got two more actions, actually. Two more actions. So he's going to go 1 and 2. Now it says when you enter it, when you end your round, you test 3 agility. His agility is 2. He'll contribute this to make it 3 versus 3. It's an even gamble. 3 versus 3. And he does it. So he takes no damage. 1, 2, and he beat him on his third. So he is done. Roland needs to go over here, and you can actually shoot him now. It's not the investigate your location gets +2 shroud. If you succeed instead of discovering a clue, defeat the man. I could kill him or I could investigate, but Roland's a shooter. He's got 2 bullets left. So for Roland's turn, he will move for 1. And for his second action, he will shoot. He gets +1 fight. So that's 5 versus 4. And I'm going to contribute. I get nothing. 5 versus 4. 5 minus 1 is 4, so it's enough. It does 2 damage to the man in the pallid mask. And for his last action, he'll shoot again. He is 5 versus 4. He only needs 1 damage, but we'll do it. 5 versus 4. The auto fail. So he failed. And that is the end of his turn. The downside for me is there is an enemy now. The enemy will attack Roland. He does 1 horror. So he's at 2. Upkeep phase. Flip these over. It says they each get a resource and a card. Oh, you got a weakness. Choose and discard all but 1 card in your hand. I will take all of these except for Helping Hand. Dynamite's not going to help me. He keeps Helping Hand. All right. Wow. So, and then Harvey draws a card. Harvey gets Old Book of Lore. All right. Put a Doom token on. Sorry. End of the round, you have to do this. Place 1 horror. Until the end of the scenario, horror on location represents spreading flames. In each location with horror gains force. After you enter, if you fail, keep this card as a reminder, advance to 3A. 3A says, at the end of each round, place 1 horror. So there's a horror here, a horror here. At the end of each round, place 1 horror with a no horror that is connected. Okay. All right. I could just resign. I don't have to fight him, but I'd like to, even though I get no victory points from it. They can just, when the lobby is revealed, okay, so, yeah, you can just leave. All right. So I put a Doom. I haven't drawn the card. So Roland went first. He draws Fanatic. I'll put the Fanatic up there. And Harvey draws Swarm of Rats. All right, so he's got to deal with a swarm of rats. He also ended... Oh, no, he did that. He ended his turn, so he took the thing there. All right, so now it's my turn. Roland will shoot. It's 5 versus... No, it's 4 versus 4. He has no more bullets. 4 versus 4. He did it. Killed the man in the pallid mask. And for his second action, he is in the lobby, so he can resign. While the man in back is not in play, so he's gone. The lobby gains resign. So he will resign. And now all I've got to do is get Henry there. Henry will move here, and it says after you enter or end your turn, test 3. Okay, so he may have to, depending on whether, he can resign. He just moves here, and then he resigns. There's nothing else to do. But when you leave, after you enter or end your turn, he didn't end his turn. He's done. And that is it. So let's do this. I resigned. If each investigator has resigned, advance. So you flip this over. The stranger gives you a slight bow as he steps through the lobby's front entrance, opening a glass door that was not there a moment before. A sudden cacophony of noise erupts around you, and you fear that the building has only seconds before it is destroyed. You flee, crashing through the front doors and leaving the ruined theater in your wake. Several blocks away, you take a moment to rest and think about what you've witnessed. The investigators must decide. We have to warn the police. Go to Resolution 1. The police won't believe us. We have to solve this on our own. Resolution 2. All right. Now, one thing that occurs to me is I may have had to turn this to a 6 shroud. I think you can defeat him. He's got a fight and a health and all that. So killing him is easy, or was done. But let's say I couldn't kill him. Then Harvey would have moved here as one action. For his second action, he would have had to investigate to get rid of this. He can use his flashlight. It's 5 versus 4, and he could contribute this to make it 7 versus 4. Let's just see if he would have gotten rid of the man in the mask by investigating. 7 versus 4, yes, he would have. So the man would have gone away, and then for his third and final action, he would have resigned. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but they were able to resign. Now, what I have to do is decide, do I want Resolution 1 or Resolution 2? Where was it? If you want to warn the police, R1. Police won't believe us. We have to solve on our own. I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe alerting the police might help me. Maybe I'll get some help from the police. Let's do R1. Okay. Oops. So I finished it. R1. If no resolution was reached. All right, I did. Resolution 1. Here we go. Fleeing from the theater, you head straight to the police station in Easttown. Bursting through the door to the stares of onlookers and police officers alike, you demand to see Sheriff Ingalls, stressing the importance of your visit. The desk sergeant, who is lazily working through a stack of paperwork, shakes his head and raises a finger in silence, then points to a nearby chair. The wait is excruciating. Every moment is an eternity. The hands of the nearby clock crawl. You drum your fingers on the desk. You tap your feet. You constantly peer over your shoulder to make sure the pallid mask of the stranger is not watching you through the front window. Finally, the desk sergeant puts his pen down, sits up, beckons you. All right, what's so important? You are only halfway through your explanation of the events when he sighs and shakes his head. Look, if this is some kind of joke, it ain't funny, he says. We had officers downtown all night. Don't try to feed me some hooey straight to my face. You insist, but the desk sergeant rises to his feet and opens the door, motioning for you to leave. He raises his voice. What, you think we're not busy enough or something? Beat it. He mumbles something about blind birds behind your back as he escorts you out of the station. You know what you saw earlier that night. Frustrated, you head back to the Ward Theater to find some kind of proof you can take to the police. You are surprised to find that the front door of the theater is locked. You are about to decide whether or not to break down the door when you see a notice on the wall near the entrance. Don't be a wet blanket. Come to the King in Yellow cast party, 8 p.m. at the home of Constance Dumaine, 1452 Atlantic Avenue. Formal dress only. You tear the notice from the wall, fold it into your coat pocket, hoping it will lead you to the answers you seek. Did you really think the police would help you? Well, yeah, I did. I thought maybe I'd get an ally or something out of it. In your campaign log, record that you tried to warn the police. Mark 1 conviction on your campaign log. I don't know what that means. If you stole from the box office, record in your campaign, the police are suspicious of you. I did not do that. In your campaign log, record the stranger is onto you. Add the man in the pallid mask weakness. Oh, it is a weakness. I never noticed that. Add the weakness to the lead investigator's deck. Does not count towards deck size. I'll put him in Harvey's. For the remainder of this campaign, anytime the bearer of the man in the pallid mask leaves the campaign for any reason, choose a new investigator to become the bearer and add it to deck. In your campaign log, under Chasing the Stranger, place 2 tally marks. For the remainder of the campaign, keep a running tally of the number of times the man in the pallid mask is defeated during the game. Each tally brings you one step closer to the truth. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X of each card in the display. Well, this is good. I think I got 4. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 victory. I don't think I get victory anywhere else. No, I do. Did these have any victory? Yeah, that one did. And that one did. Darn it. If I'd investigated those, I might have gotten some more victory points. But that's okay. I don't think I beat anything else. I don't think any of the encounter cards had victory on them. No, they did not. No. So there we go. 4 victory points that I can use to do upgrade their deck. I'll wait and see if I want to burn it now or maybe use it on the next one. And that was fun. That is the start of the Path to Carcosa campaign. I'll be back next Monday with the second part, or the second scenario, which is called The Last King. All right, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played through Arkham Horror, the card game. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you'll keep watching. If you have any questions, post them in the video comments below, and I'll see you next Monday. Until then, everybody, take care.